his kingdom to come. His kingdom, as Matt said earlier, is where his people are. So we are in God's kingdom right now. But we won't get to experience his entire kingdom until Jesus comes back. And so while we can fellowship with one another in God's kingdom now, it can't even compare to what God's kingdom in its full entirety will be one day. Okay, so back in ancient times, we had man-made kingdoms like Rome and Greece and Persia, Babylon, kingdoms like that. And one thing they all had in common was that they don't exist anymore. They were destroyed by other people. And so I think that's a pretty good point into say that man-made kingdoms aren't really, they can't be compared to God's kingdom. They can't be compared to the perfectness and the holiness of God and his kingdom. And so I was just going to talk a little bit about how when we put worldly kingdoms and when we put our own kingdoms ahead of God's kingdom, it might be fun in the beginning, but just like all those other kingdoms of ancient times, it will be destroyed. And so when Jesus is saying your kingdom come, he's asking us to put God's kingdom in front of our kingdom. And so so I went a lot faster than I thought I was going to go. But I have a final question that I was gonna say. So so Jesus said, "Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." He's asking us, if this page will stay put, to surrender our will and our kingdom and the wants that we have for our own lives. And he's asking us to surrender that to God's kingdom and God's perfect will for our lives. Even though we might not want to sometimes, it's a little hard sometimes, but in the end, just like in the end of times when we'll all be together under his kingdom in harmony, if we listen to God's kingdom or are a part of God's kingdom and not the earthly kingdom, then we'll have a much better life than we would have anyways. So the last question that I wanted to leave you with was, how would your daily life be different if you woke up every morning and truly believed that God was the king of your life? Would you be a little more confident during the day in your faith? Would you take some things a little more seriously? Might you pray a little more, not say some jokes that pop into your mind every now and then? And as Matt said this morning, would you show a little more grace to people? If we woke up every morning and were undeniably sure that God is in control of our life, what might we do differently during the day? And so I'll let Gavin